What's up everyone, Brian Phobos here. We're going to have a very controversial video today about technical analysis in cryptocurrencies and if it works or not. We just reached 3,000 followers on Steemit and we got over 2,200 on YouTube. We are going for over 500,000 subscribers / followers all in one by the end of 2018. Let's get into this. So sometimes in my videos I do show charts more as a historical representation, and just to let you guys know, I'm about 10 to 20% technical and about 80 to 90% fundamentals. Now if you're just tuning in, if you talk about a technician, you're talking about someone who does technical analysis on charts, whether it's MACD, Bollinger Bands, Williams %R, moving averages, all that kind of stuff. And the fundamentals are things like the development team, if it's a feasible project, you know, is the code good? Does it have good branding? All these kind of things. Are people talking about it? Those are fundamentals of the project. So here was one that I did on the Digibyte, December 2nd, 2017. If you see, this was pretty much flatline. There was no real confirmed move. It could have flatlined for months or years, but I decided to take a risk based on the marketing, the developers, you know, all these things, and it was at a penny, and at the time I bought over 15,000. I ended up doubling up. This moved up to 2 or 3 cents, doubled up on it, went up over 30,000. Wish I would have went in a lot heavier, to be honest with you, but hindsight is 2020, and now we're sitting around 10 or 11 cents. Fortunately, the market did move in my favor just as a whole, and things like Digibyte, a lot of other people started talking about it and really, you know, got in on the project as well. So there were some good profits to be had there. I still have all my Digibyte. I'm feeling like that there could be definitely another surge and potentially it could double up from where we're at right now. But again, don't take that as any kind of financial advice. You got to do your own research and decide for yourself. So let's look at some other stuff. And again, I do look at charts, but it is such a low point of like what I do. And my channel would be so much more successful if I was in the charts a lot more, because it looks like there's a science to it. But I can tell you this, that there's no artificial intelligence or bots or anything that can predict some of these types of moves. For instance, the Steam-backed dollar was pegged to the US dollar like it should be, and then it just bursted up, and we don't even know 100% what happened, but we think that some people decided that since it was a lower market cap, it was more around like $4 or $5 million at the time, that they could take a couple $1 million and pump this thing up, and then they knew that Steam would actually follow with it because the bloggers on Steemit would end up selling their Steam dollars for Steam and power up their Steam, and it would put all kinds of buy pressure on Steam, and they knew that as a whole they could make a lot more when Steam went up, and they knew they could manipulate the Steam dollars. We don't know 100%, and then now it's going back down. It's at 540, but that's still, you know, really good for blogging rewards. Electronium. So over here we have this where it just fell off of a cliff. There's no chart analysis that's going to tell you that this is when the ICO coins were released. We figured there would be a dump because people had waited a couple months, or at least over a month and a half, for their coins, and then this dumped off. But there's no chart analysis that's going to tell you that that dump is going to occur. Ray blocks, you know, the thing is sub $1, 19 cents, December 1st, and then it goes clear up to $32. There's no chart or any kind of thing that's, any kind of mechanism that's going to tell you that it is going to do that. You know, it was literally flatline. This thing was like dead, and then boom. So whether this was a strategic manipulation coupled with then suddenly people started talking about it as it rose up, and then more people were like, oh, this is pretty cool, you know, like that's what happened with me. I looked at it and then it was like, what's this? And then I read the white paper. Actually, I had a really good white paper and all that kind of stuff. Now from here, the technical analysis are going to tell you that probably it'll go down, but you know, it's getting added to Binance, and they're going to rebrand to Nano, and there's other things happening. Now you might say, well, you own some of that, so you're just promoting it because of that. No, I only own 10.4 of these, you know, so that's under 250 bucks at this time. So that's really nothing. You know, maybe it does go down, but I have a feeling that we're going to get a lot more volume when it hits Binance, and it just hit KuCoin. So who knows? Let's say KuCoin shares. Why is KuCoin shares going up? Probably because when you buy it, you get a 30% discount on trades at KuCoin. That's why it's going up, not because of some moving average or some other indicator that says it's going to go up or it's going to do this or that. It's a fundamental thing that, well, okay, I want KuCoin shares so I can save on fees, just like Binance Coin. You buy those coins and you get a 50% discount on your trading fees. So it's like, okay, yeah, I'm buying it and everybody else is buying it because we like Binance and we like KuCoin. You know, so that's why it's going up, not some technical indicator here. So this has been a very controversial thing out on Steemit. So there's Hai-Jin Lee, and he is making just absurd amounts of money drawing up these pseudoscience bullshit graphs. And it's honestly pretty ridiculous because anything he can just, and he pumps, sometimes he'll pump out 10 posts a day doing this, and everything is usually overwhelmingly positive. If you notice, a lot of YouTubers and a lot of people out there are just, they'll just pump, it's just, they're just positive, 100% positive about the whole thing. And that's actually what gains the most subscribers. So price explosion could be imminent. Then he's saying, you know, the higher price projection of $2.42. And, you know, basically all you do is just draw a wedge and then you just start drawing these lines out there and saying, oh, this is basically Elliott waves. And say like, oh, it's consolidating. And then you just draw these, oh, it's impulsing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the thing is the people upvote the hell out of this, $522. And keep in mind, the Steam-backed dollar is worth $5.40. So he just made an absurd amount of money on this, just this one post. There were days where he was making $20,000 a day drawing up these pseudoscience bullshit graphs. It's honestly pretty ridiculous. But anyway, you know, he's saying, oh, MACD analysis and, you know, there's Elliott waves and all this other kind of stuff. If this stuff works so well, then people wouldn't teach classes on it. You know, they wouldn't do seminars on it. You know, they wouldn't sell some bot that could supposedly predict these patterns. They would just use the bot themselves, or they would just use these analysis themselves, and they would get just stupid rich. They wouldn't need to be selling somebody else a course and teaching other people for money. It doesn't make any sense, you know. Now, he's able to do this on Steemit. Nobody's really has to pay directly. It's, you know, it's kind of like hiding the friction of the tipping, but you can see how popular stuff is. You know, that's almost 30,000 views because people really, they're already invested in Tron. And then they see this and it confirms, it gives them affirmation like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, it is going up. I should stick in there. I should stick in there. Now, this doesn't say anything about Tron plagiarizing part of their white paper or Tron just being an ERC20 token with no code, really no nothing, and it's just an idea. I mean, that is the first time I've ever seen an idea get to be worth $18 billion. That's insane. So could this pump like crazy? Could it pump up to 3? Yeah, if everybody keeps buying in and they're like, yeah, Tron. I don't know what it's supposed to do, but yeah, Tron. Then yeah, it'll go up. So if you look at some of his other posts, it's usually all like, you know, Ripple projected to make tsunami profits. You know, it makes this huge amount on it. You know, Tron. So anyway, look, Enigma, 140% profit potential. Yeah. Like all you have to do is just talk positively about every single thing, and people are going to be like, yeah. He said it was, and look, he's drawn out these lines. He has some kind of software to draw out lines. Wow. So here's one from a month ago, and I'm not trying to point out and say, well, okay, he was wrong on this situation, but he was right over here. In general, the market was going to go up, and even I can say that about myself. There were certain plays. Let's go back even to the Digibyte. I mean, if we would have went into a bear market, I could have been flatlined on Digibyte for freaking 2 years. like Digibyte was in 2014 and 2015. You know, 2015 and 2016 was pretty much flatlined for Digibyte. And if we went into a bear market, I could have been flatlined. And I would have been just sitting there waiting. It would have got boring. Luckily, you know, the predictions were right, and that there was this impending surge that was coming into crypto, and everything worked out, and Digibyte surged with a bunch of other stuff. So I can't even say any one person, I'm not even saying, oh, you should listen to me, I'm a genius. You know, it's not like that. It's just that what this stuff and looking at these charts too much, in my opinion, is a pseudoscience. And there's good reason to believe that, because why would anybody need to teach this stuff? Okay, so Steam dollars, target 31.45. That was a month ago. And then he's saying, you know, hold your Steam dollars. Well, and I'm sitting here, you know, when he posted this, it's like, how? Like what? You're like, everybody from Steam It and anybody earn anything on DTube, Steam It, Steep Shot, any of this stuff, we're all selling our Steam dollars, creating all kinds of sell pressure on it. How is it going to get to 31.45? And, you know, it's just, and obviously if you see this move that he drew out, that it was supposed to impulse from here and then go on up, it has clearly not made that move. It had not, it's not like it impulsed from, you know, over here where he was saying or whatever. It's continued to go down. Now, could it turn around and go back up? Yeah, I mean, sure, you know, anything could happen. Everything's kind of unpredictable. Now, he did put his money where his mouth is. Maybe he didn't want to get exposed because he told everybody to do that, but he did not sell his Steam dollars. He's been putting them in the savings, and he would have been way more profitable if he would have just went ahead and sold them like I was, and like a lot of other people were. But I don't know. You know, I guess he just wants to be overwhelmingly positive, or he really, really believes that this Elliott wave stuff is true. So let's look at some stuff. And there's a lot of articles about artificial intelligence, and that there's going to be, you know, crypto trading with artificial intelligence. And it's all just kind of, it's like, okay, maybe eventually it does happen. But at this point, you know, it's like this company, they're trying to do an ICO, bring data intelligence into crypto jungle, you know, and then basically they're selling this whole idea that they're going to have an AI bot that people will be able to do trades with. And people really love this kind of idea that, oh man, I'm going to have this bot working for me and it's going to be brilliant. And really when it boils down to it, if these guys really kind of could develop this, then why the hell would they need to raise money for the ICO and everything? Why wouldn't they just develop it, and then they would make so much money and get so bitty rich that they would have 10 yachts and 20 fighter jets, and they can have anything they wanted if their prediction, you know, software was so great, you know, but that doesn't happen. Again, you see a lot of main channels that a lot of the focus becomes kind of looking at the charts. You know, you look in the chart and it's like, oh man, this looks technical. So, and I'm not here to rag on like different content creators and different people. Data Dash he seems pretty level-headed the way he talks about stuff, and people want this. He's giving people what they want. They want to see the charts. They think that there's a science behind it. Again, I do look at the charts, guys. I do look at the charts, but I don't use all this stuff. The moving averages, the MACD, Bollinger Bands, Relative Strength Index. So he does all these videos, and they're wildly popular. You know, people like to watch that stuff. Here's one that he did, 244,000 views for trading cryptocurrencies. And here he's talking about the head and shoulders pattern. And I mean, when you look at this, okay, here's the left shoulder. And I'm not ragging on him about this. This is a common example that would be used to show this. He's just kind of explaining what it is. But here's the left shoulder, which is a very weak. I wouldn't, if this over here never happened and we didn't see this, you would never try to sit there and pick that out and say, wait a minute, is that a left shoulder? Imagine if this kept going up. You would never sit there and, wait a minute, that's a left shoulder though. That's a left shoulder. That's a weak ass left shoulder. That's nothing. So then it goes, and it literally, this is like looking at the face on Mars, guys. I mean, really, it's like a blurry picture of the face on Mars. So this goes down, then this is the right shoulder. obviously misbalanced here. And then this continued down. And then so after the fact, somebody's able to pick this out and say, oh, okay, this is the head and shoulders. And they're trying to say, well, I guess this is the left and this is the right shoulder. But if this move wouldn't have happened, you would have never picked this out and said that. If this would have, let's say, bounced up here and kept going up here, it could have went either way. And it's not until it's like clear down here. And with Bitcoin, it could be thousands of dollars difference when that suddenly occurs. And you're like, oh, that's head and shoulders. Oh, it's too late. All this stuff is a reflection of the past. And then it's too late when you're able to potentially, like, you know, see what that move was. Here's, you know, another YouTuber, crypto investor. And again, he has a good demeanor, but let's, for a second, let's go back to Data Dash. When you're listening to people, and obviously you can choose whoever you listen to, and there have been some Data Dash videos where I clicked in on it, and it was a live stream, and stuff was kind of happening real time, and so I was kind of had that over, you know, looking at it and everything, and I actually feel like he does a decent job, kind of a level-headed approach, but really when it boils down to it, it's like how much of it, you know, is really someone you want to follow. He did make a video a couple days ago, you know, about that he made a mistake and he accepted like 6 Ethereum and 100 Substratin tokens, you know, to promote Substratin, and he basically admitted to that, and then he lost access to the 100,000 Substratin because basically some hard drive got filled up, and then he tried to transfer the files. Technically he didn't know what he was doing, and he admitted that he felt embarrassed about it, and then he kind of didn't know what he was doing, but it's just, these kind of channels though will get way bigger than what I'm able to get to, because overwhelmingly most of the stuff is positive. How much he's getting paid from situations like this Substratin situation, you know, it's hard telling, but a lot of YouTubers are incentivized to just be 100% positive on every video. If you look at my last one, Smart Cash video, you would think that since, you know, I did take a position in it, that I would be overwhelmingly positive, but I ended up listing more negative things about Smart Cash than I listed that were positive, and that's just kind of how I am. I mean, I've been like that in interviews before where it almost seemed like a negative outlook, and I probably didn't get the job because it was like, this guy, he's too much of a straight shooter in a way, you know, for us to give him that job, because he's just, I don't know, he's a loose cannon basically. So let's go over to Crypto Investor, and basically, you know, he pops in the charts a lot to show like historical kind of things. I feel like he's about 50% technicals, 50% fundamentals. I feel like he does a pretty good job, has a pretty good demeanor, and you know, he will say some negative things and stuff, you know, of things that he's not bullish on. Like he has this very same viewpoint that I have on Tron, essentially. So, you know, I think he's pretty good. I only agree with probably like 60% of the stuff that he says, and I would say with Data Dash, I probably agree with about, I'd say about 60%, but from kind of a different angle. I only agree with about 60%. And that's the way, if you guys don't agree with everything I say, that's natural. You know, you should use, let's say if you're watching a video, you should take that into consideration and look at other people's videos, kind of see their viewpoint, think about if you think they're getting paid for it. My YouTube channel is not even monetized, unfortunately, at this point. So I'm really not getting paid to put this stuff up on YouTube. I'm more trying to direct people back to Steam it, because we can all get paid there. And, you know, if you're engaging in comments and stuff like that, I can upvote you. And, you know, that way you can start earning crypto by commenting and stuff like that, whereas you don't earn anything on YouTube for comments. So, you know, what do you guys think? If I had this open and then I had this open, you know, does this look like, would you guys look at this and be like, oh man, this guy's a boss, man. This guy, he probably has 8 monitors. He probably has a setup with 8 monitors with a different chart on each one. He's probably doing the MACD. He's probably doing Williams %R. He's got Bollinger Bands out there. You know, does this look better? Would you guys, do you think I'll get more subscribers if I do this? Okay, guys, you leave me no choice. This is the Brian Phobos follower/subscriber graph. Look at this. We're starting to consolidate here. Look at that wedge. We're starting to consolidate. We're impulsing. Subscribe, guys. Subscribe.